All right, I think I've done the best I can with this little flat I'm staying in for the next couple weeks. Tell me your thoughts. Without further ado, hello everybody and welcome back to A Man Who Can't Leave London or He'll Be Shot. He'll be shot. My name is Evan Edinger, and today we're doing a bit of a community video. I can finally do one of these. We had a lot of really interesting comments from you guys in the video I made a couple weeks ago about what are some things that really shouldn't be a thing anymore in the year of our Lord 2021. And so I wanted to respond to some. Also, by the way, today's video is sponsored by Huel. You'll be hearing more about them throughout the video, in the middle of the video. So, top comments on the video we've got is, it's a bit wild how controversial it is to say everyone should earn enough to eat, pay rent, and live in relative comfort. It is annoying how that is a controversial opinion to have, and I know that I've definitely swayed from the years, like on, I don't know if that's even possible, to why is that not a thing? I think that's because the more we learn about how much the industrial complex costs us as a society, we're like, oh, if instead of having one of those nukes, we would have been able to feed all the homeless for a year, you then start to realize, oh, it is possible. It's just that the powers that be have decided that's not something that they'd like. And it's not even, it shouldn't really be a controversial opinion to say people should be able to have roofs over their heads and have the relative comfort. Not even saying everyone should be able to have like a new iPhone with a Ferrari. It's not really what we're asking for. Just the bare minimum. You know, if we could just move the relative amount of low income, high income, just move it all up a bit, that would be great. So that way the lowest income people aren't struggling as much as they are in today's hellscape of a society. Hey, that's how it is. Next up, we've got Erica, who says, the 40-hour work week is outdated. It was created when it was expected that someone was at home during all the housework and taking care of the children, in the case of families. Now, we can't do that. I feel no matter where you are in this world, you can't live on a single income if you have a family. Even single parents work multiple jobs and sometimes the kids get jobs as soon as they're able to because of expenses. I would tend to agree with Erica here in terms of, as much as I said hey, we should make sure that we're working 40 hours should be able to feed themselves. I do also think, yeah, it is a bit outdated. Back in that time, that amount of money could afford a whole family, just one, man of the house. But these days, the fact that a mom and a dad are working and we're also encouraging children to work just to pay for everything is sad. Now, as someone who grew up in the States, I remember being so excited when I was turning 13, 14, because I heard McDonald's would hire when you turn 15. Most of the minimum age requirements in the US, I'm fairly certain are 16 at a lot of places, but for some reason, as long as you agreed certain hours, 15 was allowed. Now, I was excited because I just wanted to make some of that money, okay? I think that's fair. I didn't have expenses, I just wanted to be able to buy a GameCube. But it is sad to think that maybe, luckily I didn't get a job until I was 16, but encouraging kids to work just makes me a bit sad because they should be able to have some sort of childhood, And my mom worked 2 jobs just to be able to afford for us to have an okay life when I was a kid as well. So I definitely do feel that the 40-hour work week is a bit outdated unless we can increase everyone's pay a lot. But how are we gonna do that? The government working? I don't know. Next up, we have Mike from Canada says, yes, we in Canada have gotten rid of the penny and there hasn't really been any problems. You still exchange them in for larger denominations at a bank to get your money back and they'll have the coins melted down to get them out of circulation. Wow. When you're purchasing something in cash, you round up to the nearest 5 cents, but if you're purchasing on the card, the product retains its exact value. You just answered the whole problem. I was like, I don't know how it worked. Canada already leagues ahead of the rest of us. A couple other countries commented, by the way, saying their country did the same exact thing and it's been great. I just don't know why we don't do this. However, I did misspeak, by the way. I think I was using some outdated John Green data. Love the man, but also this is a video I've watched of his from 10 years ago. Turns out in the UK, pennies are actually made out of steel with copper on the outside. But yeah, we don't really need anything lower than 10p's. I agree. If we could have a system in place in which the same thing happens in Canada, maybe if it's an exact thing, you can get it on the credit card, but if it's cash, just round up. But the question then lies for me, what if something costs 97p? Does it round down? Or do you really think companies are gonna be yeah, let's round down for you, 95p? I just feel like they're gonna round up no matter what. but I actually don't know how it works. So if you live in a country where this is a thing, please tell us below. Number 1, things that should not exist in 2021. You not knowing about today's video sponsor, Huel. What a segue. Can you believe it? Now, if you've been watching me for a while, if you followed my Instagram, you know I've actually been a big fan of Huel for a long time. Way back when I used to live with my friend Luke, and I would stealthily steal some of his Huel to try it out without him knowing. Sorry, Luke, I never told you the truth. But it was really good, so I got some of my own, and yeah, it's just been a nice journey. It's so convenient for me. 2 of my flatmates actually at the moment are from Hong Kong, and they saw me making myself a little Huel earlier this week, and they were like, what's that? And I was like, you don't know what Huel is? It's vegan friendly, nutritionally complete. Sometimes I don't wanna have to like make a meal or get something fast food, which is gonna be unhealthy. Why not just make a Huel? It's so much healthier and makes me feel good inside. And also, they now have the ready to drink model, which is the one I'm holding right now. It's a model. Can you believe, you can just pick this up at your local shop. So much better for you than just going and getting like a sandwich or meal deal or something if you know that you're getting 26 vitamins and minerals. Now, if you're someone that's like, hey, does it have a lot of meat in it? No, that's a really weird request. Why would this have meat in it? It's actually vegan friendly. I would recommend, if you haven't had Huel before, try it out. You can get a free t-shirt with your order using the link in my description box below. And tell me what your favorite flavor is once you do, because I've tried a lot, but for me, there's nothing wrong with vanilla. That's just my all-time favorite. I've had chocolate, I've had vanilla, I've had the berry, I've had all of them, but I'm just a big vanilla guy. Don't take that any other way. Anyway, thanks for Huel for sponsoring. And without further ado, other things that should not exist in 2021. We've got a Jessica here that says trolleys, shopping carts. Thanks for the translation. I do appreciate that, Jessica. For £1 coins. That is weird in 2021. Like, I have to say, people rarely carry cash. Like, you're gonna actually get in a fight with a lot of other people here. Plus, when I was 34 weeks pregnant, specific, I went shopping and didn't know that the store required £1 to use the trolley and wouldn't loan me £1 and didn't offer any help. Oh my God, can you tell us the name of this store? That's pretty horrible. Pregnant woman says, hey, I need £1 to use the trolley, and they go, oh, you trying to take £1 from us? Get beat out here. Oh, a big topic that we actually talked about the other day as well was being a cash person. I basically wanted to know how old you are, and are you more of a cash-minded person or are you more of a credit? Me, myself, I said, I've just really been big into just using a card, less things to carry, don't have to really worry about having the right thing, especially when traveling. I've got a couple cards that don't have any sort of international transaction fees, which, amazing. Don't have to worry about it at all. However, a lot of you cash lovers, you spoke up. I appreciate it. We have one here from Fenrislap 8. And they say, I'm 21 and absolutely a cash person. I don't want to feel disconnected from the money that I'm spending. And I think that's a really important point. A lot of people were saying that when they're cash people, it's because they want to make sure they have a value assigned to when they're spending it. Whereas I will be the first to tell you, sometimes when you're spending money on Amazon, or you're just like, oh, let me get a delivery on Just Eat, boop, you know, the money just leaves your account without having to think about it. But having to physically give money every time would definitely dissuade one from doing that. But as I now like run my business of making YouTube and photography and stuff, I couldn't imagine doing that, because I'd much rather have it as optimal as possible. And it stresses me out spending money still. So I actually do not want the feeling of giving money, because it's like, I'd rather just be like, don't think about it, Evan, don't think about it. As long as you've budgeted okay, as long as you've got a good like budgeting app, I think it'll work. But thank you so much for speaking up on your side. Next up, we got Rihanna Ball. I think I've seen you a while on this channel. Thanks for subscribing for so long. Something that shouldn't exist, school uniforms not allowing girls to wear trousers. Edit, a couple people have mentioned boys not being allowed to wear skirts, and I 100% agree that uniforms shouldn't be gendered either way. It's just my personal experience, and I know more girls who'd rather wear trousers than boys who'd rather wear skirts, but it sprang to mind first. Maybe this is a revolutionary opinion of mine, but I don't think we should have school uniforms at all. To an extent, as in, I, obviously, from my experience in the US, never had to wear any specific little suit and tie. Therefore, I had a really hard time putting on my like tie when I was at my friend Luke's wedding the other day. But who cares? I can learn how to tie a tie from a YouTube video. You shouldn't be forcing kids to wear suits and ties. I just think it's a little bit outdated, only because it made a bit of sense back in the day when, you know, you were training your kids to be like, get ready to never have fun, because when you become an adult, you just have to wear a suit and tie to work every day. How many jobs do you know that still have that? Accountancy firms? Maybe, if they're a little outdated. The FBI? Whoop, you trying to work at the FBI? I'm not. I mean, every job I've ever worked in London has been like business casual. You know, a lot of them said you can wear whatever you want as long as you wear shoes, which usually means something has happened prior. So I would wear flip-flops, you know, just try and Henry David Thoreau, a little nonconformist, a little whoo-hoo, but I still wore flip-flops, it's fine. I just think you have more freedom of expression as a child. Allow yourself to wear whatever you want and be happy in it. Obviously, when you can wear whatever you want, there is still like a standard of, and this is something where it's really hard to get into as well, you know, you can't necessarily wear like swear words on your shirt, maybe, or like it gets into a weird thing. I know there was like spaghetti straps was a big thing at my school, and it was weird because it was like, who's looking at shoulders, Vice Principal Snyder? Or is it maybe like the finger length? It does get strange. I understand the reasons for all these things, but I've always been on the camp of I'd rather be able to wear whatever I want than have the whole school uniform thing. On the topic of the gendered uniforms, yeah, that also doesn't make sense. Like, in today's society, I just feel like, hey, if you're gonna force these uniforms, you can't do them gendered, all right? If someone wants to wear trousers, let them wear trousers. It doesn't really matter. The whole, like, you have to have your hair a certain way is just weird in 2021. You can disagree with me in the comments, but I just don't think that should be a thing. Next up, I love British coins. All right, we got a British coin stan in chat. I love the shape of the 20p and 50p coins. They are quite aesthetically pleasing to feel. They're nice, like octagonal shape. I used to love how all the pound coins were different designs and you could see which country they were from. Plus the weight of them was so satisfying. I love how big and stupid the 2p coin is. Yeah, I like the 1 pound and the 2 pound coin. It's just a little bit bigger. Also, if you're unaware, in the UK, I don't know if they still do this, but I always liked when I first moved here, that you can combine like all the different smaller coins and they make a little shape. They make a little shield or something on the background. I'll put an image up. I always thought that was really nice. It was almost like as a kid, collecting change is fun. You can collect them all. Still can't afford a freaking Freddo though, can you? British memes. I'm dabbing in 2021 and I'm so sorry. In the States, no one really uses dollar coins. They exist, but they're not really that much in circulation. There's like a Sacagawea, there's a Susan B. Anthony, but those are snatched up and nobody likes to spend them. So we actually have quarters that you have to put in to the shopping carts, which are like 20p, 25 cents. And it never, as a kid, obviously I want my quarter back, I can get a gumball for that. But as an adult, I guess it's that small little thing to encourage people to take it back, but just maybe do a tap thing, or maybe just, honestly, I just agree. Well, I don't have any solutions. I just don't think that we should be having these weird coin shopping carts in this year of our Lord. When card charges were banned in the UK, Just Eat was still applying a card fee. They're trying to make it seem like they aren't still applying that same charge by renaming it from card fee, or whatever it used to be, to service charge. I noticed this way back. Every time I'd order Just Eat, I would use credit until I noticed that it was always like 50 cents extra. And so I'd be like, I have cash in the house. I want to save that 50 pence. And then more recently, I noticed that regardless of if I chose like cash or Apple Pay, it still charged me. And I was like, oh, that's frustrating. I thought I could save 50 cents. Good to know it's because they're trying to get around the law. Just Eat, you lost some cool points in my book, all right? More like, just don't eat. There's literally Just Eat behind this couch, okay? I ordered some last night. As someone who has bought train tickets in a European country, they did not have extra charges, and the listed price is what you would pay. Similar to, I guess, how VAT works in the UK. However, if you choose to print by a ticket machine, they cut 5% off. If you choose to print at home, you cut 10%. Wow. They could have easily shown 90% of the price and added it on top, but they did not. It's nice when they don't pull this crap. It does just feel like you're being scammed. I'm guessing because they've done the market research and realized that they would make more money and more profit if they told people the smaller price and then snuck in stuff later. But it just builds resentment. I know I hate when companies do that, whereas if a company just gives you the whole price and then actually knocks some off, well, that's much nicer. But I guess they make less money, and so therefore their shareholders will be angry, and well, that is society. We live in a society. But by Lanya, we have, my dad works at a company where he gets Fridays off, but he has to work longer days. So that's like the trade up here. Like, I totally think that the 4-day work week should be more of a thing. I hope we can get more trials of it to see like its efficacy, if that's the word. But I'm talking about like the 4-day work week where it stays the same amount of hours, not the whole still 40 hours, just 4 days a week. Because sure, like that is an interesting one. Like a question for you is, if you could, instead of working 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday, would you prefer to do 10 hours a day, Monday to Thursday, and get 3 full days off? I feel like if I had to make the decision, I genuinely would choose that, just because I have 3 full days to do whatever I want. And also you got to factor in the fact that there's like commuting, and every day that you work and you come home, you feel so exhausted. You know, there's that whole bit of time where as soon as you get back, you're like, I can't do anything that I wanted to do today. So like losing that ability for a full day, I think would just be worth trying out.
In my country, shops used to be open on Sundays, but some years back, we had a referendum on whether or not we wanted the shops to be closed on Sunday, fully closed by the way, none of that 4 hours crap, and most people were in favour. Despite it being an inconvenience, we sympathise with retail workers and wanted to give them at least one guaranteed day off per week. So I don't think we should abolish that. In fact, more countries in 2021 should have that system.
Well, that's your opinion. But also, that's a really nice, wholesome fact. I wish you told us which country. You said, in my country, and we don't know. Tell us. Or I'm assuming people will be saying, that's my country. I've heard it's like that in Finland, I believe. Plus Anya looks like possibly a Finnish name. Anyway, let me finish. Basically, I think that if you're not going to completely give people one full day off like that Sunday and do this whole half-ass thing, it's just not a good plan. Just because the cost of commuting, as you know, if you've ever worked one of these types of jobs, the stress that comes before and after, going in, just remove that whole thing from the situation, give people one full day off. I'm gonna say, I think it's a good idea. He's so woke! I like cash because it's still there when there's a malfunction in the system. And I find it easier to save money when I put it away and forget about it. A malfunction in the system? How old are you, Mauve? I've gotta ask, only because what is the malfunction in the system? My stepdad used to make me have to balance my checkbook when I was a teen. And I remember being like, why am I having to do this? The bank literally tells me how much I have in my account. And he was like, what if they make a mistake? They're the bank. That's their job. I'd hope they wouldn't, but they have computers now. I don't know how often we're having a malfunction in the system, but I don't think that's necessarily a reason to go for pro cash. However, putting away money and forgetting about it is a good way to save money. I found like £100 the other day. I made it Sitsy like 5 years ago. I accidentally just put it in a drawer, and when I was cleaning out to move, I was like, hooray! I bought some food. Not £100 worth of food, all right? But I still have some left. But hey, even though I'm in a different location, feels good to be back doing some community videos and have a nice chat. If you disagree with any of my opinions, that's totally okay. Please leave a comment below and we can argue about it incessantly, or we can just have a nice political discourse in the comments. Thank you guys so much for always having such amazing, level-headed opinions. I like that we can have a full-on conversation here. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like, you can watch a different video I've made. I've actually made a lot over the course of my life. Hopefully, you like this new setup that I'm using for my in-between, and you don't hate it. Actually, I think I've done pretty okay given what I got. Anyway, hopefully I'll see you on the next video next Sunday. Thanks for watching. See you later. Ow! That couch hurt my back! That was so hard! Ow, what the f— All right, note to self, do not buy this couch on the next flat.